Greetings, everyone. Welcome once again back to Tera Online, where I am in Mistmoor Island in Ostgarath, where I have the quest Dancing with Crabs. So now I'm dancing with Crab-bams, where I have to defeat 5 Red Lash Clawriders. The game suggests that I bring 5 people to this. My goal, as always, is to do it solo. Zoom the camera out as far as possible, as always, because we've got to see what the crap this thing's gonna do. And this one in particular, I think, is the best one location-wise to fight. There are plenty more around, but I don't think I've seen one quite this open-area'd. Usually, these guys are either on one side or off to the other side, and I hit them once there because I usually go in with my 1 to 3 combo to start the match, but half the time they'll turn around and I'm trapped. I just walk around your leg here. Like, that could have ended poorly right there at the beginning. Usually go and do my 1 to 3 combo, but this guy tends to turn around fast enough that he almost hits me. So I figured it was safer just to do the 1, but then he just kind of sat there and didn't know what to do for a second, so I was confused. Now, in this fight, I'm doing a lot of things new in this fight. First of all, I'm trying to get in the habit of stunning him whenever he gets ready to do that jump. I don't really get in the habit of doing it here, but I try. However, it may not happen for a little bit now. I'm sure I'll interrupt myself when it happens. Location-wise, I think this is the best place to fight one of these guys. Yeah, there it was. I had to stun him there. I had no other choice because he was getting ready to do the jump, and there was no way for me to get out of the way of anything. His other red eye attack was that forward attack, and if you can get around to the side, that's a good chance to get in a nice combo, fair bit of damage. But location-wise, I think this is the best place to fight this guy, because they spawn in a lot of areas, but usually the areas are either surrounded by other enemies, or it's in a very narrow location, giving you very little room to maneuver. Here, you've actually got a fair amount of time to maneuver. Now, typically, when he does the spin around to attack you thing, I would normally try to dodge into him so I can keep attacking. But against this guy, that's generally not the greatest thing to do. Also, doing the 1 to 3 there was kinda dumb, but it worked out in the end. Forgot to stun him again. But the reason I don't dive into this guy is because a lot of the time he'll do that spin attack multiple times in a row. And after that first dodge, I can't continuously dodge. I can't keep doing the dodges back to back. Now, this is another opportunity to get in a fair amount of damage. He'll generally wiggle around like that some, and then turn again. That means he's going to get into this one charging attack. If you can get on the side of that, you can attack him from behind and get in a fair amount of damage. There's the other attack, so I can get in that one here. Now, that bubble attack you'd think would be a huge attack, like a giant area of attack, area of damage and everything. I remembered it there. I saw the overlay to follow up with overhand strike, but a lot of the reason I do my 1 to 3 is because when I do that, it actually makes my 3... I dodged into him there, and because I knew I was just too close to him, and I was really lucky he didn't spin around again. But when I do my 1 to 3 normally, since I start with 1, my 3 is done a lot quicker. It's part of its own little combo thing. So when I stunned him there, I saw the little pop-up for it, and I figured, oh, maybe that was just one of the combo things I forgot to disable. I can't do it now because it's going to be super slow. And I don't want to dive into that because I've messed with stunning BAMs before, and I find for the most part that if I try to stun them, that right there was actually really important to me figuring out how to fight this guy. He will walk up to you. Normally, I thought he would just troll walk over you, but he won't. He'll actually stop right in front of you. That was a major mistake on my part. I was trying to stun him, and I hit 3 instead of 4. Thankfully, I recovered pretty easily from that one, which is something more than can be said for a lot of times. And then he got ticked off. Now, with this guy being ticked off, he actually does a lot of just random wandering around, and that tends to make things easier. Now, here's another thing that I'm doing, is I'm using my tab to dash and get some distance when he's walking towards me in his jerk boss mode. I'm looking at the counter there. Because the more distance I can keep away from this guy while he's doing this, that's the more time I can buy for it to wear off. Now, dealing with this guy during his jerk boss mode was one of the bigger obstacles to dealing with this. I was debating if I could stay close range to him. I'm waiting for him to stop, because sometimes he will just troll walk over you. But a problem fighting this guy is he does a lot of attacks often enough that I actually have very little time to build up MP. You can see now, I have 5 MP. I can smack him a couple times, but he's not going to give me the chance to really build up MP. He has a couple regular attacks. When he does this one, the push forward, you can get 1 attack in before you keep moving. If you get in more than that, he'll turn towards you or do something else. He has another attack where he'll pound the ground twice. That one, you can get 2 attacks in. Now, I'm kind of, like, not super close range to him here, so I'm trying to get closer, but I'm not having an easy time with it. You know, he did his little wiggle there, which means this time he's going to do the big pound. If you get behind him, you can do 1 to 3 again. But back to the stunning combo from, I don't know what crap was going on there. But back to the stunning combo. I've messed with stunning BAMs before, and usually the stun just throws me off. They'll start in with another attack that I'm not ready for, or something will happen. And it ends up just confusing me and causing me more trouble than needed. So that's why I tend not to stun. I tend not to do it when I know I'm not going to... Or I tend to only use it when there is no real better option. However, usually I use the other stun. Now this right here, wait for it. And he killed him! I was watching him kill this guy. By the way, when I did the Dancing with BAMs live stream, this was the first guy I fought. And so in the stream, I was watching him walk over and kill that guy, and I'm just sitting there going, holy crap, I have to win. I have to win this attempt. I have to keep that in a video that I can post and show you guys. Now, he walked over me a little bit there, but it wasn't too bad. Did a little bit of damage, but I recovered. But, stun-wise, I tended to use the other stun, the one that keeps me at close range, because I found whenever I did my... Obviously, I don't have any MP, because I can't build up MP against this guy. But the jump stun would knock me back far enough that, yeah, he's stunned, but then I'd be at an awkward distance from him. And I would have to try to get close again so I could actually deal with him and fight him normally. Which is why I used the other stun, so I could stay close range. However, against this guy I found, what I want to stun is his jump attack. And that's something that I'll want to be away from anyway. You see, the close range stun, if it misses, I'm still there. And if he does this jump and it doesn't stun him, then I'm still standing there next to him. Now right there, I saw the little overlay for overhand strike, and I figured, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and give that a try. And I did it really slow again. And that told me, like, right, not doing it. Just not doing it anymore. As it turns out, I think I just hit the button a little bit late. It should go quickly. I'll get to that next BAM. But with the close range stun, with this guy's jump, if the stun misses, he still jumps, and then I'm stuck close range to him. Which is all around bad for everyone. Well, me. The backflip, though, actually gets me farther away. So if the stun misses and he jumps, I've still got some distance, and I'm still safe. Now, the chief gain from doing that stun, not only does it stop him from doing that attack, which is a little annoying, but it lets me get in extra damage with the overhand strike. This is actually really, really important and useful. Again, I don't use it against this guy, but I learn. I'll get to it. Once again, he does that, which lets me get in a 1-3, start circling him again. With this guy, it doesn't really matter if you want to circle him clockwise or counterclockwise. I tend to do counterclockwise just because it's... And I stunned him there just so I could get some distance from him. I didn't want to be that close when he was ticked off. I like how he foams at the mouth when he's ticked off. What was I saying? I don't remember. Probably not that important. I'm going to keep my distance here. My tab is up. I tabbed into his arm. That was a useful tab. I've still got a little bit of distance, though. A lot of the trouble with running away from this guy is that he will still just walk over you. And that was what killed me a lot fighting this guy. Especially in his jerk boss mode, is that he would just walk over you. And then it wore off, and all is well. Even when he's not in jerk boss mode, he will still walk over you occasionally. You can't just stop there and go like, oh, we're all safe. See, like right there. I managed to dodge away from that. I think he tends to walk over you when he's going to do that jump. At one point, I was debating dodge rolling into him, because I figured, well, I'm invincible during the dodge roll, so I should be close enough to him that he should stop moving by the time the invincibility's off, and I should be up and about, and everything should be alright. And theoretically that would work, but in practice it didn't. It actually got me killed. Because after I do my dodge roll, I'm stuck standing in place for a moment, not really doing anything. I've got to, like, stand upright and right myself. And that amount of time is enough time for the BAM to get his crap together and attack me. Oh, and I thought I was getting a little bit farther off to the side there. There's a dude over there who's actually killing those things. He's actually watching me fight this thing, and he's trying to help me out by keeping the area clean, and thanks to him for that. It helps me focus on the fight, not have to worry about fighting the little dudes around the area. Now, after that jump, you'd think you could do like a 1-3 combo to get close range again, but you don't really have enough time for it. He did the wiggle, Does the big attack so I can get the 1-3 from behind. I started that a little bit late. I did the 3 when I really shouldn't have. Almost got hit by that bubble. So now those bubbles, that's kind of a hilarious attack. Because it's such a close... Like, you're expecting this giant, wide berth of an attack or something you just have to get out of the way of. But instead it's just this, like, real tiny little, like, thing that just slowly moves forward. Like, if I get hit by that, I am doing something wrong. But then I almost got hit by it because he hit me and stunned me and knocked me down on the ground. Pound the ground with both claws. It was one of his red eye attacks, so you can hit him again. Now, I seem to remember a couple people telling me that this... That's disgusting. Stop it. A couple people actually really waiting for me to fight a crab bam, and I don't know if this is the one that they were expecting of me, but here it is. It's not really everything that they hyped it up to be. The guy wasn't easy. I died a fair number of times. This isn't something that I would want to go back and just do willy-nilly. This is a heck of a fight. I think by this point I've gotten a handle on it enough, and I've learned enough at this point, especially between this BAM and the second one, since I fought 2 during the live stream. Between these 2 fights, I learned enough that I want to say I could take this guy out without too terribly much trouble. Quit that. Stop it. It's weird. Once again, dodging away from that, because if I dodge forward, he'll probably spin around multiple times. Like, alright, you just gonna... Some of the trouble with the BAMs writhing about like that is I don't generally know how much time I have to attack them while they're doing it. Because it just lasts until their animation is done. Sometimes I can get a full combo in, sometimes I can just get a 1-3 in, sometimes I can just hit him a couple 1-2 times. This guy actually lets me get in a full 1-3 if it's ready. And really the chief trouble with this fight is that he leaves himself open so often that I have to keep doing things to dodge his attacks, to the point that I rarely have much MP. I actually started using my F5 and F6 during this fight, just so I had a little bit of MP, so I could dodge if I needed to. Which is something else I'm trying to get in the habit of doing. Especially when they go to jerk boss mode, and they're just kind of wandering around. It is painful, by the way, watching me not use my 3 every time I do that. But especially when they're in jerk boss mode, when I'm just running around trying to avoid them until it wears off, when that's all I'm doing, I end up putting my sword away. When my sword's away, my MP degenerates. And that can cause troubles to the point that when the fight starts up again, I have no MP. So, hey, using my F5 and F6 in the middle of a fight is actually really helpful in that regard. And I'm kind of glad that nothing terrible happened there, because that could have ended really poorly, really quickly. Oh no, I think he ran over my friends over there. A couple people from the stream just showed up, and they're over there watching me. There's a couple over there, too. They're just watching me fight this thing. Helping out any way they can, kill some of the monsters in the area. So I'm still soloing the dude, but just less worries along the side. Got him down low, just about taking him out. I should be able to get 2 attacks in there. Nope. I could have, if I was a little bit quicker on the draw there. It took me a minute to get into position. when he just does the push. Once again, just get one attack in. Now, I know typically my 1 to 3 can take off about 1.5% of his HP. Now, I want to end this, and I want it to look decent, and I used my... I used my F5 and F6 there. Give myself a little bit of MP. I'm not entirely sure why I did it. Maybe I wasn't paying too much attention to my MP. No, one of those actually makes it so my MP doesn't degenerate for a little while, which is really helpful, especially when going up against the jerk boss mode. Now, 1.2%, this should be enough to finish him off. He did the charge, so... didn't even have to do the 3. Now, that is 1 of 4 down. Pick up my items. Now, just to do it 3 more times. But... here's a couple people here who can help me out with that. Oh, and by the way, a couple people have been telling me that I'm over-leveled for these fights. And that's not really true. The whole mechanic between fighting BAMs is very different from fighting regular enemies. I'm 5 levels over the BAM, but I'm only 3 levels over the quest level, and 3 levels is not over-leveled at all. In fact, for fighting against BAMs, those 3 levels don't really gain me much, if anything. Believe me, I'm not over-leveled for these. If you want to see over-leveled, how about that guy? Now that's kind of over-leveled.